Hi class, in this video we are going to discuss solving logarithmic inequalities. So in solving for logarithmic inequality, we have to take note or remember the following. So the direction of our inequality symbol is based on whether our base is greater than or less than 1. So ano po naka-apekto dito? It is because we have the property of logarithmic inequality. So given that we have the logarithmic expression, logarithm of x base b, so if our base is between 0 and 1, then x sub 1 is less than x sub 2 if and only if logarithm of x sub 1 base b is greater than the logarithm of x sub 2 base b. Next, we also have if our base is greater than 1, then x sub 1 is less than x sub 2 if and only if logarithm of x sub 1 base b is less than the logarithm of x sub 2 base b. So this also implies that when our base is between 0 and 1, our inequality symbol or the direction of our inequality will be reversed. So from less than, it would be greater than, or vice versa. Then, when our base is greater than 1, we will retain the direction of our inequality symbol or sign. And another thing we have to remember is check the resulting x values that do not make any of the logarithm undefined. So in our logarithmic inequalities, before solving, we have to check ano yung mga resulting x values natin that would make your logarithmic expressions in your logarithmic inequalities define or dapat hindi siya maging undefined. So, let's proceed with our examples. So, let's solve for the value of our x for logarithm of 2x plus 1 base 2 less than 3. So, again, let's check muna yung ating base. Yun yung unang gagawin. Base natin for this inequality is 2 and our 2 is greater than 1. Next one, check natin yung ating mga logarithmic expressions. Dapat, ang kanilang maging resulting values will be defined. Yung x natin will be defined. So, if we have 2x plus 1, so, sabi, diba, dapat siya ay greater than 0. Kasi, dapat yung ating argument, which is 2x plus 1, should be positive. So, by that definition of logarithmic expression. So, therefore, equate natin siya when our 2x plus 1 is greater than 0. So, solve natin. You will have 2x. Transpose natin yung ating positive 1. So, magiging negative 1 siya. Then, dividing both side by 2, you will have x is greater than negative 1/2. So, therefore, daw, ang ating x that would make our logarithm define is when our x is greater than negative 1/2. So, if we have our number line, para mas ma-visualize natin, this is our center, 0, then 1, negative 1. So, dito, sa ating negative 0.1, 0.5 or 1/2. So, from here, papuntang positive infinity will be the solution or the values of our x that would make this logarithm expression defined. So, therefore, ito yung i-consider natin when we solve for our x. Now, let's proceed in solving for our logarithmic inequality. So, for us to solve this one, it is best to change it into an exponential form. So, we will have 2 raised to 3 less than 2x plus 1. Now, simplify natin yung ating 2 raised to 3. That is 8 less than 2x plus 1. Then, by addition property of equality, transfer natin yung ating or mag-add tayo ng negative sides on both sides of our inequality to cancel out positive 1. So, you will have 8 minus 1 less than 2x plus 1 minus 1. So, kaya po makakancel to. Then, you will have 7 less than 2x. Then, dividing both sides by 2, you will have x is greater than 7 halves or 3.5. So, if we are going to visualize it using our number line kanina, so dito, sa taas, corner natin, if we have x is greater than 7 halves or 3.5, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ang ating solution daw is from 1 half, 3.5 rather, no? 3.5 to our positive infinity. So, these are the solutions of our inequality. And between the two, ang pipiliin natin is when our x is greater than 7 halves. So, therefore, the solution for our inequality is x is greater than 7 halves. Next, let's have our logarithm of 9 base 4 greater than 2 logarithm of x base 4. So, for us to solve this one, let's first simplify yung ating 2 times logarithm of x base 4 by the power law natin. So, we can write this one as the logarithm of 9 base 4 greater than logarithm of x squared base 4. So, before we solve, again, let's first check yung ating mga reminders kanina. First, let's check our base. And for this inequality, our base is 4, which is greater than 1. So, therefore, we are going to retain our inequality symbol, the direction of our inequality, which is greater than. Next, let's check for the resulting values of our x. So, wala naman tayong questionin dito sa 9. Pero dito sa x squared natin, we have to consider that x squared daw po natin should be greater than 0. Anong mga possible values nito? And, obviously, we will have x when our x is greater than 0. So, all solutions ng ating term ng logarithmic expression is when our x is greater than 0. So, now, let's proceed with solving for this one. So, using our one-to-one property, we can now express this one as 9 greater than x squared. Kasi nga po, ang base natin is greater than 1. So, same direction lang tayo. Then, by getting the square root of both sides of our inequality, so you will have positive, negative, 3 greater than x. Or, this is x is less than 3 and x is less than negative 3. So, now, let's see or let's check it with our resulting value kanina, which is x is greater than 0. So, if we are going to visualize it in our number line, so we have here 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, this is our positive 3, negative 3. So, sabi daw dito is our x is greater than 0. So, from our middle, papuntang positive infinity, this is the values of our inequality that would make your logarithm defined. Now, when our x is less than 3, so that is x less than 3. So, from here, papuntang negative infinity. Ayan. Ito daw po yung other solution. And we also have when our x is less than negative 3. So, from our negative, papuntang negative infinity. So, ano daw po yung magiging solution ng ating logarithmic inequality? So, obviously, ang accepted lang daw po para maging define is when our x is greater than 0. So, from here, magkakaroon tayo ng boundary, which is, ayan. Then, base dito, syempre, i-omit na natin tong negative 3 kasi it will make your inequality or your expression undefined. So, pwede na lang natin i-accept yung ating x is less than 3, which is, however, may boundary kasi hindi na accepted yung below 0. So, therefore, magkakaroon tayo ng boundary dito when our x is equal to 3. So, therefore, ang magiging solution lang po natin is when our x is greater than 0 and less than positive 3. So, therefore, our answer is x is greater than 0 and less than 3, or in interval form that is 0, positive 3.